AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical, Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge and all over Louisiana. Matt?
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal?
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Ton to do today. Darren Teakin will be here in a bit for our Fantasy Blitz. We'll talk to Amber Wilson from ESPN Radio next hour. Lee Sterling with some picks. Billy Lucci. We'll talk Aggies. Mike Triplett. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right, we will talk plenty of LSU, Texas A&M, and Saints Bucks as we move throughout the show today. Saints are off the practice field. We'll get to an injury report in a bit. When LSU and Texas A&M, the opening line came out, and we saw the Aggies a 1.5-point favorite, which has now been bet to 2.5. A lot of people looked at that kind of cross-eyed, like what do they know that we don't know? And that makes a lot of sense, right? You hear oftentimes in sports betting, people say, oh, it's a stinky line. Well, this is a stinky line. Because you look at LSU at 5-2 and coming off a loss to Vanderbilt, all of the struggles offensively, one of only two teams in the FBS not to score 25 points against an FBS opponent, North Carolina being the other. You look on the flip side with Texas A&M, they're 7-0. They're ranked third in the country. They're 4-0 in the conference. Pretty good defensively. They run the ball really well. Marcel Reed's played exceptional football. And so you look at this, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like you would think A&M would be a pretty heavy favorite in this game. And still the line is what it is. And you're starting to see a lot of people pick LSU to win this game. And so I was like, let me see if there's something I'm not seeing. Let me dig in a little deeper. Look, a lot of the metrics are there. And A&M is a good team. I don't think there's any denying that. We make picks and we get stuff wrong and we get stuff right. And look, I mean, I had LSU and Texas in the SEC championship game. I'm going to get that wrong. One thing it looks like I maybe got right was that A&M was going to have kind of a breakthrough year. I picked them 9-3. They may actually outshoot that. And there's a lot of good. They're 7-0. They're 4-0 in the conference. They're number 3 in the country. In the SP Plus, they're number 7. In the FPI, they're number 10. I share those with you because those aren't subjective rankings. Those are objective data points that these algorithms use. They're number 1 in the country in strength of record. Their strength of schedule is number 16. Their remaining strength of schedule is number 12. Their game control ranking that Honey Boo Boo and all the goofs in the hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas love to use as a talking point when they put out their rankings. Their game control ranking is number 8. So whether you look at these objective algorithmic numbers, if you look at just scores and the record that they've played, A&M's good. I'm not going to sit here and poo-poo A&M. I think they're a very good team and they should be favored. And I mean, I'll probably pick them to win the game. But as you start to peel back the layers of the onion a little bit to see, okay, why might this be more competitive through the eyes of the odds makers than what many of us think? Well, they are 7-0, but they've only played one ranked opponent. And that one ranked opponent was Notre Dame. And yes, Notre Dame is, after losing their first two games against Miami and Texas A&M, two good opponents, they've run the table so far. But A&M needed to score with 13 seconds left to win that game 41-40. 41-40. They gave up 40 points on the road to Notre Dame. Texas A&M is 4-0 in the SEC. Their wins are against Auburn, 0-4, probably going to fire their coach. Mississippi State, 0-3. Florida is 2-2 in the conference and has fired its coach. And Arkansas, which is 0-3 in the conference, has also fired its coach. So, 2-12 is the combined record of their SEC opponents that they've beaten. And two coaches have been fired already. So they haven't exactly faced the top of the league yet. That's coming, though. They played two road games. At Notre Dame, where they gave up 40 points. And at Arkansas, where they gave up 42 points this past weekend. I know what you're going to say. Yeah, but Matt, those are good offenses and LSU isn't. You're right. Those are good offenses and LSU isn't. Objectively true. But also true is that A&M has played two road games, and in both of them, they gave up 40 points. The defense gave up 40 points. Marcel Reed has had a really good start to his season. Through 7 games, Marcel Reed has thrown for just under 1,800 yards, 15 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. He's completing 62% of his passes. And running the ball, he's been effective as well. He's averaging just under 5 yards a carry, and he's rushed for 4 touchdowns. Marcel Reed, in that game in South Bend against Notre Dame, he was 17 of 37 throwing the football. Now, he threw for 360, 2 touchdowns and a pick. The reason he threw for 360 is because he had an 86 and a 45-yard completion. So that'll skew your stats a little bit when you're 17 of 37, when one of them goes for 86 and another goes for 45. Now, they made those plays. Hat tip. They got 2 really good receivers. Craver, the transfer from Mississippi State, Concepcion, the transfer from NC State, are outstanding players that they got in the portal this year and clearly hit on both those guys. Not taking anything away from them. But that wasn't a consistently great day for Marcel Reed in South Bend. That defense, the secondary, by and large, for Notre Dame throughout the game played well, except for obviously giving up the big plays. We just can't take that away. I mean, they've made the big plays. They beat Auburn. Won that game 16-10. Up until this point, Auburn is the best defense that Texas A&M has faced by a big margin. Auburn is 30th in the country in total defense. LSU is 26th. So this will be the best defense that A&M will have faced so far. If you're wondering, the other defenses they faced, Florida is 42nd. Notre Dame is 62nd. UTSA is 99th. Arkansas is 124th. And Utah State is 126th. So yes, they've put up some gaudy stats offensively, but the best defense they faced all year, Auburn, held them to 16 points at Kyle Field. This is a better defense than LSU statistically, and it's in Baton Rouge at night. A&M also does not have Le'Veon Moss in this football game. Le'Veon Moss from Astruma, who is their best running back. Now, Reuben Owens is awesome. He's a former 5-star, and he and Moss have identical 70 carries on the season. Moss, 389. Owens, 396. I mean, they are almost identical statistically. But Moss has been their best guy. He's not available. More of the onus on Owens. Emmitt Smith's son, E.J. Smith. They've got Amari Daniels as well. And, of course, Marcel Reed can run the football. So they're good. And they got 4 returning starters on the offensive line, which is one of the reasons I liked A&M a lot this year, was that offensive line and the bevy of running backs. But they are down their best guy. There's, I'm sure you've seen, a 75% chance of rain Saturday in Tiger Stadium. And please spare me the "it never rains in Tiger Stadium" thing. It's the stupidest line. I don't know why we say that. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why we say it. It's stupid. It rains all the time. I've sat in monsoons in that stadium. It rains all the time. And it looks like it's going to rain on Saturday as well. So if you want a lower scoring game with a slogging pace of play because LSU ain't getting into no score fest with anybody, that much is clear, you might prefer a game in the rain where it might be harder to move the football. It'll make it harder for LSU, yes. It'll make it harder for Texas A&M, too. And there's history on your side as well. Texas A&M, as we all know, has not won in Tiger Stadium since they joined the league in 2012. They've lost every trip here since they joined the league. It's been obviously the odd number of years. 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23. They're 0-6 in Tiger Stadium since joining the league. That's a lot of data points that can factor into why the odds makers think this one's going to be closer than maybe you and I on its face might think. I think A&M's the better team. They've obviously had the better start to the season. But I also think that the Aggies on Saturday still have a lot to prove. And it is a great opportunity for Texas A&M to show that they're not the team that they've been since they joined the league, which is one that sometimes gets off to a hot start like they did a year ago. Remember, when they beat LSU, they were the last remaining unbeaten team in the league, and all they did from that point on was lose 4 of 5. They went 8-4, lost the bowl game, finished 8-5. So you look at what they have now. At LSU, at Missouri, home against South Carolina, Samford, and then at Texas. They have 3 ranked road opponents coming up in the final 5 games. You find out all you need to know about A&M and if they're an actual national championship contender, and it starts Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. All right, we're brought to you every day by Bud Light. Drink easy. Our show open brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. If you're going to be tailgating Saturday out at LSU, make sure before you get out to Tiger Stadium, get out to campus, make sure you stop by your favorite retailer and get plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light in the officially licensed aluminum can. Drink easy with the Tigers. Support the Tigers. Mockler Beverage, great supporters of the Tigers. Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers and of the New Orleans Saints. So if you're getting to the Dome on Sunday as well, make sure you have plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light. Make sure you follow Mockler Beverage on all the social media because whenever they're going to be out and about for different events, they always post on their social medias where they're going to be. So great opportunity to check them out. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. All right, y'all, our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge and all over the state of Louisiana. Thrilled throughout the day today to tell you more about our friends at Decision Critical. You can learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Let me knock out a quick break. Saints are off the practice field. We do know now who what the attendance was like as the Saints had their second full day of work. We'll jump into that as we continue to let you hear from Ellen Moore as well. Stick around with us here on AFR.
After further review.
As we move through Q4 toward the end of the year, maybe you're trying to finish 2025 with a bang. Or 2025 right now is when you're going through budgets for 2026. I know here in our company at Guarantee Media, October, this is about the time where we're doing budgets for 2026. So maybe that's your company as well. And you're looking at how you're going to find the right people, either to finish this year strong or to find the right people in 2026 to make it the best year in your company's history. Glow Resources can help. Let's just call it what it is. No matter what business you're in, your efficiency depends on the people within your business that are executing your vision every single day. You have to have the right people. It doesn't matter if you're talking about office assistants, C-level management, blue-collar workers, whatever it may be. You need the right people performing their job efficiently to maximize your productivity. Glow Resources helps you find those people. So check them out online at glowresources.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Division games are always fun, no matter what organization I've been a part of. Division games are fun. They're a little bit different than all the rest of the games. You're going to play them twice in a season. There's a lot of commonality. You know each other very, very well. Obviously, my understanding this is a phenomenal rivalry. They've had a ton of success lately. We've had success. It's going to be a fun battle. Baker's playing as good a quarterback playing this league, and so it'll be a fun battle.
Saints coach Ellen Moore getting ready for the Tampa Bay Bucks to come on into the Dome this weekend. First time that Saints and Bucks will play this year. We've talked about a good bit already. Tampa on a short week, right? road game Monday Night Football. They got pounced by the Lions, had to fly home to Tampa. Off day Tuesday, walk through just a simulation on Wednesday. So Tampa here on Thursday with its first real practice day, getting ready for New Orleans. Really just 2 practice days, Thursday, Friday, then they'll travel to New Orleans. So a very compressed week for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And for New Orleans, we're waiting on the full injury report to come out, although the availability report, the attendance is out. So if you're not familiar with the difference, so when the media has their designated portion of practice that is mandated to be open to the media by the NFL, by the CBA. So when the reporters go to practice, they can obviously notice who's there, who's not, and who's participating, who's not. Now, they don't get the official injury report until the team releases it later, but you have the effectively attendance. So who's there? Is anybody notable missing? And on Thursday, Ross Jackson has this up at LouisianaSports.net. Again, everything always free over at LouisianaSports.net. The only player Thursday that was absent was Saints defensive tackle Devon Gottschall. And this has been consistent throughout the year. They've given Gottschall on Thursday a veteran day off. And that's cool. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Mike D's old line, which we love, practices for the unskilled. Gottschall is a 30-year-old defensive tackle. Just get him ready for Sunday. I don't need him hitting pads and sleds and dummies on a Thursday. Just get him ready for Sunday's game. So if he needs a day off, a veteran day of rest, give it to him. Get him ready for Sunday. So everyone else out there in attendance, healthy, that's great to see. Alante Taylor, Chris Olave, Chase Young, all out there today, which is awesome. So Saints getting ready to play Tampa. Now, 2 players that are not there, of course, are Kendre Miller and Eric McCoy, and I want to dig in a little deeper there about their replacements. We'll get to that here in just a second. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens, home, office, commercial building, your vehicle. And remember, I should stress this process. When they come and spray, they've outfitted their Sprinter van. So the hoses that spray the dry fog are just wound in the Sprinter van. So they'll pull the Sprinter van up to your home, to your office, to whatever it is, and then they'll just drag the hose out of the van. So anyway, point being, like, they can come to your work. Like, let's say you bought a vehicle pre-owned and a smoker owned it, or you had a long trip and maybe you had some water intrusion, it's mildewy and a kind of a skunky smell, or maybe it pets in the car and you can't get that smell out of it. They'll come to your office, just spray in the car, close up the doors, let the fog dissipate. When it does, you're back in free and clear, clean smell and sanitize. You do the same for your home, your office building. It's Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. So the Saints are going to welcome in Tampa Bay this weekend, and they're going to do so without Eric McCoy and without Kendre Miller. And both of these are obviously significant losses. Eric McCoy, massively so, especially when you're talking about having 2 young quarterbacks in Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck trying to develop in the league. And here you have a 2-time Pro Bowl center in Eric McCoy, who's been a stalwart in New Orleans for almost a decade now, one of the best centers in the NFL, and now you're replacing him with Luke Fortner. By the way, when Moore met with reporters on Wednesday, he did confirm that it will be Fortner replacing McCoy.
Yeah, we'll just start Luke. Luke at center, he's done a really good job. He's played some good football, fired up for him, and keep the continuity at the right side and the left side, and I think we're trending well.
Remember, the other options were Torricelli Simpkins, who played center at South Carolina, but came into the league, and we'd seen him shuffle a little bit at guard and tackle, depending on injury. But Torricelli Simpkins had been repping there in the preseason, and then Cesar Ruiz was the other option. Ruiz was a center at Michigan, you might remember. I'm sure you do, but it was a center at Michigan. He's played guard exclusively during his career with the New Orleans Saints. So that's what Moore was saying there with keeping the continuity, so it's not moving Cesar Ruiz over. So it'll be Luke Fortner, who's a guy they traded for back in August during camp. Fortner was a 3rd-round pick out of Kentucky, drafted by Jacksonville, started every game his first 2 years in the NFL, and all 17 games, played center in his rookie year, played guard in his second year in 2023. And then last year played in all 17 games but didn't start. He had lost his starting position, and then Jacksonville traded him in August, part of the Colin Saunders trade. So the Saints acquired a young veteran who was a top 100 draft pick when he was taken in round 3 back in 2022, 6'4", 307. The guy's played in 58 games in his NFL career. He's made 34 starts, so he's played a lot of football. But it does disrupt the continuity, obviously, with the battery there with a young quarterback in Spencer Rattler, and now you have a new starting center going in there. And the other thing that Kellen Moore was asked about is, with not having Eric McCoy, your veteran center, does that put more on the quarterback's plate here with Spencer Rattler?
I think it still starts with the O-line. Those guys communicate at a really high level. The QB always has his tools within protections and adjustments that he can utilize. And so, I think that group's been working well together. And, there's an adjustment without Eric, but they'll handle it well.
I just hate this matchup. There are some matchups that would be easier than others. Remember a year ago when McCoy injured his groin initially? It was against Philadelphia on the third snap of the game. And so you had to move Lucas Patrick from guard to center. You remember how this all unfolded? Which meant instead of having Eric McCoy against Jalen Carter, you moved Lucas Patrick from guard to center, a position he wasn't prepared to play that week, and he had to face Jalen Carter the entire game. It didn't go well. Well, you look at this game with Tampa, and you're facing a true zero technique nose in Vita Vea. Good luck, Luke Fortner. Sucks, man. I'm sorry that this is the one that you draw right away. A true 360-pound zero technique nose that's one of the best interior pass rushers in the NFL that's going to try to crush you the entire day. That sucks. This is just not an advantageous matchup to have this happen. Not that it's ever good to lose your starting center. This is one that is probably less desirable than others. So we'll see how Fortner fares there in the middle. The good news for Luke Fortner is he knows he's got the rest of the season, right? I mean, it's not like if he doesn't play well this week, he loses his job. I mean, they're going to keep Cesar Ruiz at guard. It's basically Fortner, who they traded for as a veteran, or Torricelli Simpkins. It sure sounds like they're going to go with Fortner, and he'll be their center for the remainder of the season. So a lot of opportunity to develop some continuity there, but this is an unenviable task to draw Vita Vea here with Tampa. Now, the other player that obviously is going to be gone this week is Kendre Miller, out for the season with a torn ACL. There's a really good feature up at LouisianaSports.net right now if you'd like to check it out. It's right there on the homepage. I think it's actually still there at the top. Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net was able to have an exclusive one-on-one with Devin Neal. And Devin Neal, the rookie out of Kansas, is going to get his opportunity this week with Kendre Miller out. So if you want to go read that exclusive that Ross did, it's up at LouisianaSports.net. It's at the top of the homepage if you want to read it right now. But Kellen Moore, when he met with reporters, talked about what stands out about Devin Neal.
Great vision, good cut. He's got a good balance to him. I think he just has a good feel for the run game.
The other thing that could be really significant this week, depending on how many reps that Devin Neal gets, and I don't know how many it'll be. Remember, they signed Velus Jones as well from the practice squad, so Velus Jones could factor in as well. It's someone they like. We've seen him in the return game already this year. But Neal could factor in pass protection because against this Tampa Bay defense, and we know, if you remember a year ago with Todd Bowles, Rattler played the Bucs twice, and in the first half of that first game, Rattler tore it up, and then Todd Bowles was like, I'm just going to blitz the ever-living hell out of this kid for the rest of the game and make his life miserable, and they made his life miserable. So you better believe that's what's coming again with Todd Bowles in this Tampa Bay defense. They are just going to try to blitz and harass Spencer Rattler the way they did a year ago, successfully twice. So that means, and no Eric McCoy in the middle, means it's going to be a real challenge to pass protect. Now, we'll see if Hassan Reddick plays in this game. He's on the injury report. Looks like he'll miss. He likely will miss this game. We'll see what it looks like as they get closer to Sunday. But Devin Neal helping in pass protection, that could be a big part of his role this week, and that's something Kellen Moore is aware of.
That showed up in the college film from Devin, which was a little bit of an impressive aspect, was his ability to protect. We felt like that would give him a head start compared to a lot of guys coming from college where protection isn't necessarily part of their tools early in college careers. And so, he's done a really nice job. He hopped in there, handled it well. He'll be just fine.
that game a year ago, the 51-27 game, Tampa ended up sacking Spencer Rattler 5 times in that game. And that was the game where the Saints got down. Then the Saints had a 27-point second quarter, and they went to half with the Saints leading 27-24. Saints were shut out in the second half, 27-0, and lost 51-27. So that got really bad really quickly last year in that second half of that first game. Rattler ended up throwing a couple of picks. So my guess is we know what we're going to see. Todd Bowles is going to crank up the pressure and try to harass Spencer Rattler, and it's going to be on Rattler to make good decisions and maybe on Devin Neal not only to help in the running game, which is something we'll all be aware of, but also in pass pro. So something to keep an eye on when the Saints and the Bucs face off on Sunday. In the Dome, 3:05 is the kickoff, not the noon kickoff. 3:05 this week for Saints and Bucs. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing all over the state of Louisiana. If you're a physician, I really want to talk to you and remind you about Decision Critical. So many doctors, so many physicians refer their patients to Decision Critical. If you're not familiar, if you're a physician and you're not familiar with Decision Critical, you really need to be. Reach out, have a conversation, maybe meet Blasia for lunch or for coffee, find out what their exemplary nurses do. They can take your orders. They can even be there, let's say, surgery post-op. Their nurses can be there with your patient post-op to get your orders to help execute them at home, keeping your patient out of the hospital, maintaining better care at home. So many physicians refer their patients to Decision Critical and their expertly trained nurses. If you want to learn more, check it out at decisioncriticalbr.com. I know the website's BR, but they have nurses all over the state of Louisiana now, and they're about to open their Dallas office as well. So decisioncriticalbr.com, decisioncriticalbr.com, our title sponsor of our Thursday shows all throughout the year. Okay, y'all, we're glad you're hanging out with us here. We're going to knock out a break. We'll go around the SEC. Darren Tietgen with our Fantasy Blitz as we get the NFL weekend kicked off. Before you set your fantasy football roster, check with our guys at who2start.net. That's coming up in 15 minutes from right now. Amber Wilson from ESPN Radio. She'll be in Baton Rouge for LSU Texas A&M this week. She'll be with us next hour. Lee Sterling's Best Bets. Billy Lucci in hour 3. Mike Triplett. God, we got a ton to do and glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling commercial or residential. Need a realtor? You need Darren James. 335-7666. That's Darren's cell. Write it down. Remember it. Ask Alexa or Siri to call it right now. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. No realtor gets to the closing table faster, more often, and gets you more money than Darren James. It's not my opinion. It's objective data. Wall Street Journal Real Trends lists the top 1% of realtors in America. Darren James, number 1 in Louisiana on the transaction side. Nobody gets to a closing table more than Darren James. So, you need to sell your home. You need to sell it fast. You need to sell it for the most amount of money possible. You need Darren James. Of course, remember Darren's guaranteed sale program. Agree to a price and a deadline. If he doesn't sell it at that price by that deadline, he'll have it bought with cash or he'll sell it for free.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Saw the all the arrests for the betting thing in the NBA. You saw that today?
I did. I woke up to that. Yeah. I was just like, wait, what?
I shouldn't laugh. I mean, people's lives have been turned upside down. It's just so stupid. Like, what are you doing? I want to talk about this more later. But one of the funniest things. So on Get Up, did you see this?
I did see this. Yes.
So on Get Up, they're doing a segment talking about the here it is. Paul, I guess you can pull this up. Maybe back screen it. I don't know. I don't know if we'll get flagged on YouTube for showing it. But so it's a segment on Get Up, and Greeny's there, and it's like, I don't know who all these people are. It's Orlovsky Orlovsky and Schefter, and who are the other people?
That's The two on the end are Taylor Lewan and Will Compton.
Okay. So anyway, I don't know why they're there talking about this, but anyway, so they're doing a segment where they're talking about the NBA betting thing, and in the bottom right is the ESPN Bet logo. So they have a banner, a lower third. Well, this would be a lower third, but basically on the crawl, they have the ESPN Bet, like little icon. You bet $10 to win whatever. Well, they just very slyly during the segment, while they're on the screen, Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups arrested part of gambling investigation. Watch it if you're watching, lower right. The ESPN Bet logo is just gonna vanish here. Some very astute producer noticed. You know what? There it goes.
So good.
There it is. You know what we're talking about? A sports betting scandal that involves the FBI and arrests of a current NBA head coach. Maybe we should take the ESPN Bet logo off the bottom third, off the lower third. Anyway, hilarious. I think that video that I just had has been viewed like 2.5 million times on Twitter alone, which is probably more people than watch Get Up. So good on them. You know, getting a lot of notoriety there for ESPN Bet. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Darren Teak and Fantasy Blitz coming up in 7 minutes from right now. Get your fantasy football questions in. Email us, tweet us, or text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Fantasy Blitz coming up right now. Do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Auburn Tigers.
Jackson Arnold will start for Auburn against Arkansas, but apparently his leash is getting tightened. Stanford transfer Ashton Daniels got more reps in offense and practice this week, according to Hugh Freeze. Not planning to give Daniels scripted work against the Razorbacks, but according to Hugh Freeze, depends what Jackson Arnold looks like during the game. Daniels has not played this season as Auburn is trying to preserve his unused red shirt for potentially next year. But Freeze said that's no longer a restriction.
Texas A&M!
If Texas A&M beats LSU Saturday, ESPN's Pete Thamel believes Mike Elko may receive a lucrative contract extension following. Currently has a 6-year deal with A&M, earning $7 million per. His $7 million salary is 32nd in college football in the USA Today rankings. And, of course, Elko's name has been floated around, notably for the Penn State opening. So the Aggies could be looking to lock up their head coach because, as they've learned from experience, what could possibly go wrong?
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Tennessee's named Frank Anderson, their interim head baseball coach. Anderson has been the pitching coach there under Tony Vitello, but with Vitello going to the Giants, Frank Anderson will coach the team this year in Tennessee. He's a longtime college baseball assistant. He was actually the head coach at Oklahoma State for 8 years and went to 6 NCAA tournament appearances, including a super regional. So White added Anderson leads for the interim, while he leads for the interim. Fellow assistants like Josh Elander will focus on building his candidacy for the full-time job. Elander is their recruiting coordinator. The guy's been sort of 1A, 1B with Tony V recruiting those rosters.
Texas A&M!
Oh, I don't know why there's 2. Anyway. Head coach Bucky McMillan and his staff landed a commitment basketball coach. Out of Pasadena, Josh Irving committed to the Aggies over Kentucky and Louisville. 6'10", 200-pounder, the number 63 overall recruit in the 2026 class. He's the 5th best center in the country. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. We are brought to you by South Point Volkswagen at southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Always love telling you about South Point Volkswagen because, for me personally, it's the style, feel, performance of luxury and the safety features. I drive Drew to school every single day, and so every day when I strap my son in his car seat in the back, I know I'm driving one of the safest vehicles on the road. Erica drives a Volkswagen Atlas, and every day when she leaves and heads to work or wherever she's going, I know she's buckling into one of the safest vehicles on the road. Gives me tremendous peace of mind. Oh, by the way, they're also beautiful and really fun to drive. It's at South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. Southpointvw.com is where you can check them out online. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Thursday shows presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge and all over Louisiana. When I got a break, come back. We'll do our Fantasy Blitz. So before you set your fantasy football roster, check with Darren Teakin and our guys at whotostart.net. It's the numeral 2, whotostart.net. Email us, tweet us, or text your question. You can text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Fantasy Blitz next.
AFR.
Y'all, it is a great time to call Duplessis Builders about getting that custom pool built at your home. And I know you may be thinking, but Matt, it's October. Swimming season is over. And you're right. But if you want to have that pool ready to go for next spring, when swimming season rolls around, that process needs to start today. It needs to start today. So you can have that initial consult with my friends at Duplessis Builders. They can get that design. You can pick out all your features and finishes. You can get on the schedule as well, because it ain't like you call them today and they're digging tomorrow. So get on the schedule so that way they can begin the dig and have everything finished by the time swimming season rolls around in the spring. Start that process today with DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. Yes, they can build you your luxury custom pool at any price point, but they also have ready-made options as low as $49K. So no matter your budget, Duplessis Builders can help. DuplessisBuilders.net.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalBR.com. After Further Review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whotostart.net.
Who the hell are you?
Whotostart.net. The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the bitten?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz, powered by whotostart.net.
All right, let's do it. NFL weekend kicks off tonight. Vikings at Chargers. Before you set your fantasy football roster, check with our guys at whotostart.net. Darren Teakin, good enough to join us. How are you, dude?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. All right, let's start with tonight as we always do. Minnesota at the Chargers. Who are we keeping an eye on?
Not both quarterbacks. But Justin Herbert, of course, a fantasy quarterback that you want to start. I'm not sure about on the Vikings side, but you're still starting guys like Justin Jefferson, maybe even Jordan Addison for the Vikings. But a guy we're looking at is Rondé Gadsden, the rookie tight end from the Chargers. Even with all the options that Justin Herbert has, he's been looking Gadsden's way quite a bit. He's more like a big wide receiver than a true tight end, which is what we like in fantasy anyways. So if you're looking for a tight end, he's still out there. Definitely plug him in.
6 teams on bye: Detroit, the Raiders, Rams, Arizona, Seattle, Jacksonville. So a lot of teams, no doubt, looking for sleepers or help this week. What sleepers are you keeping an eye on?
Yeah, here in the industry, we call it Buy-Mageddon because it really does put a wrench into some people's lineups, and you have to go searching for guys. A couple guys that we're looking at this week, first in running back, Tyler Algier, running back for the Falcons. Obviously playing second fiddle to Bijan Robinson, but this week's a good matchup against Miami. They let anybody pretty much run on them, so he'll give Bijan Robinson a break. Might find the end zone this week, so if you're struggling to find the running back, Tyler Algier could suit the bill. Secondly, at wide receiver, we're looking Sterling Shepard from the Bucs. The Bucs obviously have a ton of injuries on their wide receiver front. A lot of people are looking at guys like Tez Johnson or Cameron Johnson, but we're actually looking at Sterling Shepard to be a guy that steps up. He went to OU with Baker Mayfield. Yeah, so they have a history. Look for him to kind of be his safety net. So we're zigging when other people are zagging. So we're looking at Sterling Shepard as a possible sleeper wide receiver moving forward.
Okay. Here's you always get your questions, email, tweet, or text. If you text, it's 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Danny says, who to start? He says, do I risk starting Aaron Jones tonight off the injury? It would be over Kayshon Boutte or Nick Chubb.
No, I would probably play Boutte. It seems like he's got a pretty nice rapport with Drake May. The matchup is decent for him this week. I'd like to see what the splits are between Jones and Jordan Mason are before I would start him, especially on the Thursday night. That could be a little messy.
Sean says, who to start? Do I start Baker against the Saints or to go back to Josh Allen?
Oh yeah, you're going to Josh Allen. You just can't sit him. Obviously, anybody against the Saints. I guess maybe not Caleb Williams last week, but yeah. I'm going with Allen. Just the potential for that rushing TD and like 5 or 6 points just through the ground yardage alone makes Allen a weekly start.
Donovan says Aronde Gadsden or Cade Otton. Who to start?
Yeah, I think Otton's a safe play. We talked about Sterling Shepard being a good safety net for Baker, but Cade Otton, whenever Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are out, he tends to step up. So I think if you want to play it safe, you play Otton, but if you want to kind of roll the dice a little bit, Gadsden's a good sleeper tight end this week.
Chandler needs help. PPR League needs help at flex. He's got Booty, Tucker, and Derrick Henry. Who to start?
I think one of these days, Derrick Henry is just going to be Derrick Henry again and start running for big yardage. I can't see sitting him just because of the touchdown potential. I think you're going Derrick Henry there.
Josh, PPR League, he has, Gadsden, Otton, and Fannin. Who to start?
Yeah, same answer as the other one. If you're, I think Fannon's probably out. Just too much risk with him week to week. Safe play is Otton. The upside play is going to be Gadsden.
Remember, you can email, tweet, or text your questions. If you want to email, it's matt@1045espn.com. MATT, matt@1045espn.com. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona, or you could text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Darren, we still got the promo code available if people want to use it at the website?
Yes, absolutely.
So it's ESPN, correct?
ESPN, that's correct.
Yeah, ESPN for 10% off? I was trying to get you to plug it here for.
Oh, yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah, I believe it's 10%.
Okay, use the promo code ESPN over at who2start.net. It's the numeral 2, who2start.net. All right, questions are slow coming in, Darren, right now. Here we go. Joey says he's got Terry McLaurin, Kayshon Boutte, or Coleman. Who to start?
This is really dependent on the health of Terry McLaurin. If he practices, I didn't see the practice report yet from today. Tomorrow will be a better indication. If he does play, even with the backup quarterback in tow, I think McLaurin's your play. Just keep Kayshon Boutte on speakerphone on hold there and plug him in if McLaurin doesn't practice.
I'm looking at it right here. McLaurin was at practice today. He and Deebo Samuel were both back at practice today.
That's good. That offense definitely needs their number one wide receiver, and even like I said, with Marcus Mariota throwing the ball, he would still be their number one target and does have a decent matchup.
Yeah, no Jaden Daniels. Let's see if we can get two more in here. Cade said he needs 2.5 point PPR league. He's got Jordan Mason, Kamani Vidal, and Breece Hall. So I guess that's a who to sit.
I think I'm starting the last two. All three are pretty much equal, so I can see why the question's coming in. But the other two, the last two, probably have the best chance at touchdowns this week.
All right, this is another Cade S, who said needs 2 in the flex spot. He's got Deebo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, and DeAndre Swift. So I guess that's a who to sit.
Oh boy, I'm not sitting Swift even though he's injured. I think I'm going the last two there as well.
All right, he is Darren Tietgen, who2start.net. It's the numeral 2, who2start.net. Before you set your fantasy football roster, check with our guys at who2start.net. All right, Darren, appreciate it as always, man. Enjoy the weekend.
Of course, you do the same.
Thanks, bud. We appreciate you. We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Matter of fact, I was at lunch today and ran into my buddy Ryan Cross from Our Lady of the Lake. Listen, whether it's Our Lady of the Lake here in the greater Baton Rouge area or any of the hospitals or the clinics, part of the Franciscan missionaries of Our Lady Health System across the entire state of Louisiana, like Lourdes and Lafayette or Our Lady of the Lake here in Baton Rouge or St. Elizabeth, so many other. They continue to invest, make capital investments into their facilities to expand healthcare and bring world-class healthcare here to Baton Rouge and to Louisiana. It's Our Lady of the Lake. And, of course, they're championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Not only are they caring for these elite-level athletes and students, but they're also investing into so many LSU athletic programs as well through great deals like a lot of their NIL partnerships. Garrett Nussmeier, Harold Perkins, Bauer Sharp, Jack Pyburn, all championship athletics and NIL athletes, part of the Championship Health program over at Our Lady of the Lake. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll get to our What to Watch next hour. Amber Wilson and Jonathan Zaslow do college football game day on radio. They'll be doing their campus tour this week in Baton Rouge for LSU, Texas A&M. So they'll be set up over at Walk-Ons on Burbank Saturday morning from 9 to noon. Amber Wilson will be with us here in about 35 minutes from right now. That does national radio, part of Amber and Ian on ESPN Radio. That's all coming up on AFR.
AFR.
Arco Power Systems, arco.com, arco.com, A-R-C-C-O, 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 A-R-C-C-O. Thank you, Muse. And Arco was their name. That was a very, very weak attempt at clapping along. But it was good. If you had done it loudly, it would have been really good. Arco.com. Just nod at me. That's fine. Don't worry. No need to say anything, Muse. It's just radio. Industrial energy options. Listen, here's the deal with Arco, okay? We talk about standby generator power all the time when the power goes out. When the power goes out at your business, what do? That's where Arco steps in. They have permanent generator options. They have rental options. So power goes out, you need a generator brought. They can store it at their place, bring it to you whenever the power goes out. You come get it with a trailer. And they can service your generator as well for any size business. It's Arco Power Systems. Check them out online at arco.com.